Inspired by the life of the savvy and ambitious Colombian businesswoman Griselda Blanco comes a new Netflix original limited series. Griselda tells the story of a devoted mother who, with her lethal blend of charm and relentless savagery, creates one of the most powerful cartels in history. Witness Sofia Vergara's captivating transformation into the godmother of the underworld. Griselda, streaming January 25th, only on Netflix.
Hey there! Did you know Kroger always gives you savings and rewards on top of our lower-than-low prices? And when you download the Kroger app, you'll enjoy over $500 in savings every week with digital coupons. And don't forget fuel points to help you save up to $1 per gallon at the pump. Want to save even more? With a Boost membership, you'll get double fuel points and free delivery. So shop and save big at Kroger today. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Savings may vary by state. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Hey all you heroes, hawks, heralds, crows, pirates, and wardens. Welcome to the Dragon Age Lorecast, where we unpack, discuss, and galaxy brain about all the lore behind the Dragon Age series.
We are so excited to bring you this podcast. Every episode, we'll be talking about a different topic in the Dragon Age universe, from character deep dives to exalted marches and elven gods. We will cover it all.
There will be spoilers. And always remember, swooping is bad.
Hello and welcome to the Dragon Age Lorecast, where we talk about Dragon Age and its lore. I am one of your hosts, Austin, also known as Teacup.
And I'm your other host, Shelby or Shecup.
And we are here to talk about Dragon Age, but we are here for our very special patron chat that happens every month, and we have our very special patrons here with us. And so before I let Shelby introduce our topic, I am going to introduce our patrons. And so first we have LVCC13.
Hello, everyone. I am LVCC13, or Lizzie.
And then we have the Crimson Knight.
Hello, Crimson Knight, or Steven.
And then last but certainly not least, the Capricorn Tower.
Yep, that's me, also known as Nick.
So, Shelby, what are we talking about today?
Well, since it's January, we thought, well, actually, I should rephrase that too. I posted the options in the poll to be themed around New Year's resolutions. Just because it's January, that's usually the time that we talk about those kinds of things. So I thought it could be a thematic moment. And so basically what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about what New Year's resolutions the companions or protagonists, I suppose, would make in universe. So like, yes, technically New Year's Day is not a thing in the Dragon Age universe. That's okay. They do have a similar holiday called First Day, I believe. But we'll get into that in a couple seasons down the road. But anyway, so we are just going to maybe like an alternate universe situation, however you want to think about it. It doesn't really matter. We're going to be talking about what in the world the companions and protagonists would plan for their New Year's resolutions. And just to make it a little bit fun, whenever you give your answer, like also tell us how long you think this resolution will last. Like abandoned within the first day? Or are they going to keep it up all year? And then maybe if we disagree, we can have conversations about it, all that stuff. So I think that's all the introduction we need. So who wants to go first? I have like a lot of resolutions. I just came up with several. So I can go first if we want a little bit of a palate cleanser, if you will. So this one is also thematic with our current intro sounds from the game before we go to mid break in the show. So I think that Cassandra would make a resolution to read less smut, to read more like real literature. But I think that she would read like one real, like really good book. Like, I don't know what the equivalent of like literary fiction would be, but I think she would read like one classic, one something like that, and then immediately go back to smut. And that would be like the rest of her. All of the rest of her books that she reads for the rest of the year is smut. And she like read that one and she checked it off the list and she's good to go. And I think she would consider that completing her resolution because, to be fair, she didn't read entirely smut. So that's my little headcanon. At least one of them.
No, I don't think that it would last that long. I think she would literally start 3 pages in, and then Varric would have heard that she was doing this and have been like, 3 new chapters of Sword and Shield. There you go. And then it would be done.
Yeah, I definitely feel like it depends on who knows about it, because you're right. If Varric knows, or like if Iron Bull knows, he's gonna tell Varric. Like it's definitely very situationally dependent. All right, who wants to go first or go next?
I'll go ahead and go.
Yeah.
I think just kind of piggybacking off of that, I think his resolution would be to finish Swords and Shields, just so that he could keep messing with Cassandra about it. And I think that would be when he actually finishes. I also think he'd have a couple related to Kirkwall in general, although I bet they wouldn't really be serious. I think it would be, I'm going to resolve to see how long it takes me to get Bran to quit his seneschal job.
Fair. That's very fair. I also think, speaking of Varric, and maybe this is more of a resolution that I have for Varric and less of a resolution that Varric would make, but I think that Varric should resolve to move out of the Hanged Man. Like, he needs to get his own place. Like, he needs to buy a house.
Like, he has his own place. He has his own place now. He is literally in charge of Kirkwall. He's the Viscount. He lives in the Viscount's palace.
But does he live there? Is that confirmed that he lives there? I don't know.
That's messing with Bran. That's literally part of messing with Bran. I swear, he pretends that he lives in the Viscount's palace, but he still does everything out of the Hanged Man, and Aveline has to go and drag him to the throne room every day for whatever he has to do.
That's fair. That's very fair. Very fair. But we all know he would never move out of Kirkwall. Like, he's going to be there for life.
Kirkwall.
No, never, never.
So I had one or two for Zevran, depending on various circumstances. My first thought was, if Zevran is in a relationship with the Warden, Hero Ferelden, the New Year's resolution would be to try every single kinky thing he's ever done with anyone else with the Warden.
Has positions.
Yes. Then my other idea was more current Zevran, which we don't know much about, but we know that Antiva is besieged by the Qunari going into Dreadwolf, and I was like, what is Zevran up to? Because he's been like killing various Antivan crows for the past 10 years or whatever. And I was like, I think he would still end up siding with the crows against the Qunari. And in order to do that, I was like, he would probably want to try to seduce various Qunari agents before, killing them.
I do love that both of those involve seduction, very on brand for Zevran. That is for sure. And I also think, like, I feel like in regards to the first one about the kinky positions, I do feel like they have like the Kama Sutra and all of the like the different ones. Like, they have a shelf of that. Like, they're trying all of them. So that, yes, for sure.
Would the Kama Sutra have been written in Antiva or Ravane? in Thetis. Who would have come up with that? Because I don't think it's the Orlesians, honestly.
Definitely not for Eldon.
Yeah, nope.
I feel like you could also make the argument for Teventer. I know we haven't gone there yet, but I feel like they probably get up to some freaky stuff.
I mean, if Dorian is any indication, then there's a secret one that has not officially been published, but not like an official one.
It's the Avar.
Yes.
I need your reasoning for that. Austin, I need your reasoning.
So let's think about the Kama Sutra, which is a specific like Indian, Asian kind of central text. It does sometimes have like the Kama Sutra isn't it, I wouldn't say it's a religious text, but it has religious
implications,
significance. I don't know what the word I'm looking for here. So I just feel like of the cultures in Thetis to develop something like that would be the Avar. Though, Origins Liliana,
Yeah.
she talks about growing up as a Chantry sister, like that they're just all sleeping with each other the entire time. So maybe the Chantry did write it.
So, okay, fair. Wikipedia says this, which I found enlightening. The Kama Sutra is neither exclusively nor predominantly a sex manual about sex positions, but rather was written as a guide to the art of living well, the nature of love, finding a partner, maintaining your love life, and other aspects pertaining to human life. So, that's fair. I mean, I do think, yeah, no, I do feel like the Avar of all of the different cultures and countries that we see in Thetis, I do think they have the most like healthy, holistic view of like magic, especially, and how to be a mage in their society is the most like healthy of all of them. So I feel like there is something there of like knowing the art of living well, as the Wikipedia said. So I feel like that makes a little bit of sense, Austin. I don't feel like you're totally out there tonight with that one. Maybe not.
Also just vibes. I feel like vibes tell me that it's the Avar.
It's always an argument you can make. I mean, it doesn't make you right, but it is always there.
So glad I could get us on this tangent.
I know. We need to go to the NSFW channel in the Discord server for this one. So I have a couple more. So I do think that Oghren, just to continue on the Origins theme. So I think Oghren and the hero of Ferelden would have a conversation about doing dry January. And I think the hero of Ferelden would say, I'm going to do dry January. You should do it with me. And Oghren would be like, haha, okay. And as like, yeah, right. Haha, okay. But the hero of Ferelden would be like, oh, okay. So that means you're going to do it, right? Because like you're an alcoholic. And so I think that the hero of Ferelden would think that they're doing this together, and then Oghren would be like drinking on January 1st, and it would just be a whole thing. That's at least what I think would happen.
I think
it depends on your warden.
Fair, very fair.
I think it does
Mine
depend
would
on
not
the warden.
be participating in that.
But I also think that I don't think it's January 1st. I think it's like January 20th, because I think that Oghren would try to be good for 2 weeks, because he'd be like, I'm going to do this so I can go be a good dad to my kid.
Or you make a bet with him, because he's competitive.
True. I think there is something here too. I don't think he would last until January 20th, though, Austin. I think the maximum would be 1 week. Maximum. Like January 7th or 8th. Like that's the upper limit for sure.
Awakening Oghren would last, I think, 2 weeks. Just
Fair.
original Origins Oghren, 5.5 minutes, because Zevran would immediately be like, how long until I can break him?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. I mean, I also go back and forth though, because Awakening Ogren is also the one that like drinks the entire chalice of joining in the joining. So there's
All
that.
gargle and spit.
I don't know. He's so gross.
Best lines in Awakening, though. It's comedic gold.
Yeah, I do feel like he has some really hilarious banter with Anders in that game, which look at me paying a compliment to Anders in a roundabout manner.
I
Austin.
mean, we already know hell has frozen over. Look at all the snow that's going on.
I know.
over there.
But also so hell froze over way before we got all the snow because Austin
Because Nick
said,
Saban retired.
well, I think you mean Nick Satan, first of all.
Yes, I do mean Nick Satan. Thank you.
Second of all, no, because Austin, and I meant to bring this up in the podcast, so I'm glad we got on this. Austin in the Discord server recently said that there is a video game character that he hates more than Solus and Anders.
Eh?
Isn't that right?
I missed this.
It is a Baldur's Gate character.
Oh, I can't look at that yet.
So
Yeah, so
those of you who know the game or have seen the chat, you already know. But if you want to guess, you can guess. But I will not tell you, especially for people who haven't played the game.
you can just
or-
tell them the
I'm
name.
Andy.
You could just tell them the name, Austin, of the character.
No. I detest the Emperor in Baldur's Gate.
I just like it's so funny to me that you hate him so much. Like, why? I don't know. I feel like he's
Lots
not
of
as
reasons.
bad. I know there's lots of reasons. I just feel like it's not as bad as like committing a genocide, but whatever. That's a whole entirely other game. So we won't get too far down that rabbit hole.
Solus hasn't committed a
Today.
genocide yet.
I wasn't
Yet.
talking about Solus. I was talking about Anders.
Is that a genocide? Or is that like
I mean, he like kills almost like a good chunk of the people in Kirkwall.
what is the
but-
definition of genocide? Is my
Okay.
question.
It's all about cleansing. It's all about ethnic cleansing with genocide. Which is terrible, and we don't like it.
Okay. It's ambiguous then with Anders, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, that's more of a terrorist action rather than
Well,
about.
Let's just move right
That's a whole
along
other
because
debate.
I have a
We
lot of
can't.
things that I could say. But let's go to the mid break and then we can come back and Austin and Steven can answer the questions. So
So you like to read? What's wrong with that?
It's frivolous. There are more important things for me to do.
That's just her favorite.
Nobody asked you, Tavinta.
I couldn't finish the last one you lent me. I actually feel dumber for having tried.
It's literature. Smutty literature. Whatever you do, don't tell Varric.
No offense, but might I try? I've got a quick hand, after all. Ha, let's see. Oh, when was the last time I slipped my hand into some dark hole? I remember. Long story, that.
You hurt my head sometimes, Solus.
Yes. I have been known to do that.
all right. Well, welcome to the middle of the show where we take a moment to thank our patrons. Thank you to our patrons here and all of our patrons out there. We greatly appreciate your support. A special thank you to our first patrons, Lisa M. and Genesis. Thank you so much for your support. If you'd like to join us for these chats, you can sign up on patreon.com/DALorecast, and you can sign up at our first Enchanter tier and come and hang out with us every month on these chats. Also, you can come hang out with us on the Discord. If you come hang out with us on the Discord, you can see things like who the Emperor is, or why I hate them. Talk about all of that in the Baldur's Gate channel. But also, you can leave us ratings and reviews on Apple or Spotify. And if you leave us 5 stars and some kind words, we will read it out on a future episode of the show. Do we have a review to read today?
I do have one. This is one that we got in December, so sorry, it's been a little bit delayed. But this one, it says The Lone Wolf, 5 stars. Hi guys, I'm Adrian and I've been a fan of Dragon Age since Origins came out. I'm 23 years old and I'm currently stuck playing DAI. I've tried to play the others, but I couldn't. I've played before, but I just want to replay. Currently, in my playthrough of Dragon Age Inquisition, I'm playing as a female elf mage. Thank you guys for making this podcast. I can't wait to listen more. And I do have a question. What do you guys think is going to happen to the world of Thedas in Dreadwolf? I do think the world of Thedas might be coming to an end. Who knows? We'll see. But anyway, thank you so much, Adrian, for that awesome review. All right, Austin, I think that we're finally caught up with all of our reviews with that one. So very exciting.
Yeah. So thank you all for that. Again, come and join us on the Discord. Great place to hang out. But let's get back into it.
Abominations are always so awkward at family reunions. Have you ever seen an abomination? They are ugly.
Dorian, those words you say, what do they mean?
What, you mean like mendicant? Ultimatum?
No arse when you're mad. Vishanti Kothas. You're swearing, I know it.
Vishanta Kafas. It's Tavine, relics of the old tongue. We still use the colourful phrases.
And it means what?
Literally, you shit on my tongue.
You fear barbarians will swoop down upon you.
Yes, swooping is bad.
Steven, would you like to go next before Austin?
Well, I honestly didn't really think about this a whole lot.
Oh, you're good.
But I think once for Sten, I think once he becomes air shock, like if he figured out what a New Year's resolution was, he would give himself a New Year's resolution to make cookies mandatory in the Qun.
For sure.
And like Sten's got that mindset where once he commits to something, and unless someone is able to change his mind with sound reasoning, he's not going to give up.
Very true. I could also see him making the resolution of like learning how to make different kinds of cookies. That would be fun. But yeah, I think that's a good one. I always really struggle to like come up with answers for Sten, especially for all of our patron chats, just because I'm like, I feel like we just don't really know a ton about his personality, maybe as much as we do some of the other companions who may be romanceable, especially. But
right. Yeah, that's the one thing I know about him is he says in Origins, if you get his approval rating high enough, that his favorite thing about Ferelden is the cookies.
Yes. Which I have to feel like, oh, you go ahead, Lizzie.
I was going to say, I wonder if we can disrupt the entire Kunari invasion plan if we just send Sten a Orlesian cookbook of all the lovely little treats that are available. Like,
right.
We probably could just nip that right in the bud if someone had thought of that.
Yeah, because I feel like Ferelden is like not the place that has the best desserts. Like I imagine Orlais to be the place that has like the sugar, like they're the best at like sugary treats, like kind of how like France they have, you know, just like a lot of those kinds of things. So I just feel like if Ferelden cookies blow Sten's mind, what is he gonna think about Orlesian cookies?
But the ham tastes of despair, so maybe not.
But there, I mean, I feel like desserts and savory foods are totally different.
I just always remember the end of Inquisition when Josephine's like, I literally catered the Petit Four cakes from Val Royeaux.
Yes.
And she's like, avoid the deep mushroom ones.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, a deep mushroom petit four sounds disgusting. Like, even just a regular mushroom petit four sounds disgusting. Ugh, gross.
Petit fours should not be savory. They should be
No.
sweet.
Correct. All right, Austin.
So, mine is for Anders.
Oh God.
And
no.
Anders' resolution is to not play Oppression Olympics with Fenris.
I have a question.
3.5 seconds.
Immediately lose.
Yes.
So is
Who
this
came up with that for him?
I feel like this is more of a resolution you want Anders to undertake rather than something he would take himself.
No, I
Unless
think
Aveline told him
Anders.
he had to.
I think Anders, because if I'm going to be truly fair to Anders, to what we present in the game, he does show a modicum of self-awareness for himself. Like a tiny bit of self-awareness for himself. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. And so I think that he would have all the good intentions of sticking to that resolution. But then sweet old Fenris, and I love Fenris, but he would make a comment about mages, and Anders would take the bait, and he would fail.
I have two things to say. Number one, who are you and what have you done with Austin? Number two, I do agree with that. That is very fair. I feel you. I feel that. But I'm concerned that came from you. Just putting it out there.
Snacks you were eating, Austin.
I do find a very another sweet resolution. I do feel like all mine come from two. I feel like Meryl would make a resolution to try to talk to a new person every day.
Oh,
to
that's
try to make
cute.
friends.
She'd keep making friends with the people who are mugging people outside of her door.
Yes, exactly.
See, I feel like Meryl would make a resolution to stop getting lost in her neighborhood.
That wouldn't last very long.
I don't think it would. I also feel like Aveline would make a resolution to get the city in order. Like she's head of the guard now. Like she wants everything to be better than it used to be. And she can't succeed at that because, well, she lives in Kirkwall and there's no saving it. And so I just feel like she's
in charge.
Yeah, and she's doomed to fail no matter what. So she's going to feel like she failed, but in reality, there was no way that she could succeed in that.
I mean, though, if anyone could, it would be Aveline.
Yeah, I think there are some things though that are just too much. You just can't do it.
I don't know if they have blocked off access to the gallows, which I really hope they have, considering all the things we know about that at this point. Going into Dragon Age Dreadwolf, ooh, that's going to be interesting. Then maybe there's a chance. Maybe, especially if just with all the circle stuff, depending on what people's choices are, there's not going to be any circle related stuff in Kirkwall anymore. Every mage is going to be like, I'm not setting foot in that cesspool unless I'm getting paid a ton of money.
True. I wonder if we even know, do we even know if they've rebuilt the circle in Kirkwall?
Given a certain TV show, the end of that, and where I think that stuff is happening there.
Yeah, but I don't think we have anything official oh, they've reopened the circle or they've permanently closed it or anything. I know that they sent all the mages who were, if any, survived, and the ones in the rest of the free marches outside of Kirkwall, in that area, they go to the Starkhaven circle now. So I don't know if we have any actual lore confirmation that anything really about the Kirkwall circle. So
I'm betting no. I'm betting Varric was just like, no.
Yeah, that's fair.
And the Inquisitor was like, yeah, no.
Yeah, I mean, I've long said, honestly, like there is no reason why the circle should be located in the place that it's located. Like, no, absolutely not.
Just nowhere in Kirkwall in general, because apparently the passages underneath the city are demon summoning circles if you read all of the different enigmas of Kirkwall. So it's like,
yes,
we thought this was a good
Plus
idea.
the whole Sebastian DLC with all of that stuff where you actually go in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
you know.
Go ahead, Austin.
I was just going to say, my friend Varric would like you all to start being nice about his city.
Hey, I will hang out in the Hanged Man any day of the week, but I'm not going to live there.
Right. You know that reaction meme that's like, I think it's Bugs Bunny, and he's just like, no. That's how I feel about that, Austin. Because Kirkwall, even though Varric loves it, like, it's a hot mess, and that's like at best.
I mean, he agrees with Dorian when Dorian says, "So, Varric, I've been to Kirkwall. Bit of a shithole."
That's also fair.
But it's his shithole. But anyway.
Exactly. Kind of like how Alistair's an idiot, but he's my idiot.
Like, if I could choose between living in Kirkwall or on Tuchanka in Mass Effect, I would probably choose Tuchanka.
Me too. I agree completely. I feel like there's less likelihood to die on Tuchanka, which is insane to say.
If you could babysit all the baby Krogan that are going to start popping up.
Exactly.
Anyway,
we derailed you. Sorry, Austin.
So I have two more. And these are actually people who are not making resolutions. And Morrigan is not making a resolution because she finds the whole process ridiculous and beneath her.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. That tracks.
And then Isabella is also not making any resolutions because she doesn't think she has anything to improve on. She's fine the way she is.
Yeah, that also tracks.
Agreed. See, I think that Vivian also is not doing resolutions because she's perfect as is in her mind. And I think that Solus is not doing resolutions because he thinks it's a newfangled human thing and the elves don't need to do that.
I feel like Solus and Vivian would just be like, let's refocus on my evil plot, because you know they both have an evil plot. Vivian always has something going on.
Yeah, I do feel like Vivian and Solus, if they had different life experiences, I feel like they would be like besties. If they could get over their prejudice, like just in their personalities, like I feel like they would hit it off if they could get over their issues.
But Vivian had been an elf.
Yeah, maybe. But also
that would have been even more compelling.
But also if she was an elf, like I feel like she would be very much like hissing Solus off by arguing basically for being more like Dalish rights and all those kinds of things. So I don't know. Maybe not, but it is a fun thought experiment. Okay. I don't have any more resolutions. So does anybody else have any more that they wanted to share?
I think that Alistair, if he's king, would have a resolution about maybe being a little more involved depending on certain things, or like maybe not talking just randomly when he's writing, having the scribe dictate letters, because he has the most ridiculous taglines to the letters if you read some of them in Dragon Age Inquisition, which I love. And that would last all of 5 minutes. His real resolution would be something about cheese. And his
probably
wife.
eating more cheese.
And getting his wife to come home.
Yes, depending on your choices.
Yeah, if it's Honora, he might be like, okay, now how do I get her to go to places more often?
All right. Well, does anybody else have any final resolutions?
I had a joke one for Win, which was just to make it another year. since she thinks she's just going to die constantly. She's the most ancient person on the planet, obviously.
I always wonder, like, yes, she says that all the time, but I wonder, like, if the intention in the writer's room was to be making, oh, she's old jokes, or if it was, like, about the spirit that's inhabiting her.
I think it's about the spirit because she does technically die and then come back to life. So she's like, okay, this is borrowed time.
It's just so funny that after that happens, she's like, I don't know how much longer I can keep going, so we gotta finish this Darkspawn business. And I'm like, girl, you live another like 8 years to make it to Asunder. So
like it's a long time.
It's what keeps her young.
I am just gonna say that when we make these jokes that Wynn's not actually that old, but she does talk about dying all the time. She is the only companion, spoiler alert here. She is the only companion who is dead no matter our choice.
Mm-hmm.
The only one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's correct.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
everyone else is potentially alive.
Mm-hmm.
There are plenty that can be dead. Yes, there are plenty that can be dead. But she's the only one who is absolutely like, she is dead.
We opened the Schrodinger's box and that cat is dead.
Very much.
I think that Josephine would try to make Sarah do a New Year's resolution, and Sarah would just play a prank on her because she doesn't care.
Fern wouldn't know what it was until Josie explained it to her, and then she's just like, pranks.
Yeah, I feel like she would
and Josie's like, what have I done?
Yeah, I feel like she would pretend to do something and then find a way to like make Josie's life miserable for the next like 3 months throughout it.
I'm really trying to think of one for Sarah, but she's just so chaotic and like ADHD energy that I was just like, she can't focus on this.
Yeah.
She'd want to do something fun for Whittle, and then she'd get distracted, and then Dagna would still be like, I love you, because Dagna's the same way.
All right. Well, I think that's all. So, Austin, I will turn it over to you to let everybody go through their things they have to promo.
All right. So, yeah, if you just want to let people know they can find you or promo anything that you have going on. And we're going to go in reverse order from what I did at the beginning. So we'll start with Capricorn Tower.
Yep. I'm Capricorn Tower or Nick. I don't have anything to promo. I'm just on the Discord sometimes.
And then Crimson Knight.
Crimson Knight or Steven. I'm just on Discord. Don't post very often, but I should try to start posting a little bit more.
Crimson Knight will always welcome you to the Discord server, though, without missing a beat. And then LVCC13.
I am LVCC13 or Lizzie, and sometimes I stream on Twitch. I need to get back to that. But more importantly, right now, I am a voice actor in a certain Avengers audio drama, which is awesome. We have one full episode out, and another is coming out very, very soon. We have a little smaller episode in there as well. So give that a listen. And you can also find me on the Discord occasionally.
Yeah. And that's really all we have for this time. So with that, thank you all for listening to the Dragon Age Lorecast. We'll see you next time. Thanks for listening to the Dragon Age Lorecast. You can find us on Twitter at DA Lorecast.
If you have any lore questions, topics to unpack, or side character suggestions, join our Cups Podcasting and More Discord server. It's easily the best place on the internet. You can also support us financially through our Patreon. You can find us there on patreon.com/DragonAgeLorecast.
The Dragon Age Lorecast is part of the Robots Radio Network. For more information about the Robots Radio Network, join the Discord server via the link in our episode description.
If you enjoyed the show or learned something new today, please subscribe, leave us a review, and join the Patreon. And if you enjoyed our intro and outro music, give a big thank you to Pipe Man Studios. Thank you, Pipe Man. Thanks again for listening to the Dragon Age Lorecast. We'll see you next time.